and very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom with the CBC Evening News. In our top story tonight, Barbados is no longer under threat from Tropical Storm Brett. A warning issued for the island was discontinued at 8 this morning. Meteorologist Wayne McGarry joins us live now to give us the latest. Wayne?
Hey, blessed good evening, Lisa, and blessed good evening to our viewers. Now, as a result of this discontinuation, some Barbadians were under the impression that we were totally in the clear. However, that only meant that the sustained storm force winds were no longer expected as the system took a slightly more westward track than initially predicted. Now, nevertheless, this did not negate the potential for any shower activity to occur. Subsequently this afternoon, a band associated with this feature came across the island, bringing pockets of moderate to heavy showers and rain to the island. Now, the flood watch has been discontinued at 6 p.m. today. However, the high surf advisory and small craft warning will remain in effect until tomorrow, Tuesday the 20th of June, 6 p.m. Now, taking a quick look at the radar composite imagery, we see that most of the activity that would have occurred today has dissipated. There's still the potential tonight for some rain to occur, the pockets of shower activity to also occur, but most of the activity has already passed our area, and again I say only a few showers and some light rain is likely throughout the night. And I'll give you some more a little later on in the news. Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks very much, Wayne. Well, the redevelopment project earmarked for the Sam Lords Castle area is fully on track. That's the latest after high-ranking Wyndham executives met with senior officials in tourism, agriculture and education to discuss how the project could positively impact these sectors. Kareem Smith has those details.
It's a development expected to change the face of accommodation in the region and promises to be the largest hotel and real estate investment project in the history of Barbados. Senior Director of Design for Wyndham Worldwide, Ted Brumlev, is optimistic about the possibilities which the flagship Wyndham Resort could have on Barbados when it's completed. He says the 450-room property will appeal to tourists who are seeking a number of different experiences.
We've put in a number of different kinds of food and beverage destinations, a destination spa, some state-of-the-art conferencing and convention facilities, recreation facilities that provide a broad spectrum of opportunity for all age groups and all demands. And all of this is being done with some sense of local involvement, not only at the tabletop, not only in the way that our hiring practices will be established, but also in the opportunities that we'll be able to give our guests in an outward bound regime of programs that enable this side of the island and the island in general to be part of the Sam Lords experience.
In addition, steps are being taken to ensure that stakeholders in local agriculture benefit from the project, as well as young professionals. Sam Lords Development Inc. will oversee the development and operation of the resort, and Representative Michael Phillips says people from across various sectors will benefit.
Importantly, Sam Lords Castle will provide guests with opportunities to contribute to social capital formation. For example, guest consumption of organic, vegan, paleo, and farm-to-fork menu items are likely to raise local farmer income levels, and internship and apprenticeship programs will contribute to the development of the next generation of local hoteliers.
Completion of the development is slated for the year 2019, and key officials say the completed project will change the face of tourism in Barbados and carve out the perfect balance between luxury travelers and tourists aiming for responsible consumption. Kareem Smith, CBC News.
Thanks, Kareem. One local retailer has announced it will be temporarily shielding customers from the hike in the National Social Responsibility Levy. That's the position being taken by Fresh Market, located at the villages at Coverley. Group Financial Controller Kirk Smith explains the move is geared at helping customers adjust.
Fresh Market, for starting July 1st, our initiative will be that we are not increasing our prices based on all our new purchases from our local suppliers as well as our overseas vendors for the month of July. Coming the end of July, we will look back at the initiative and see how well it's been received by our customers, and if need be, we may very well extend it further weeks or even another month into August. It's important. The customer comes first. Each one of us, even wherever we work, are consumers at the end.
Mr. Smith is also encouraging other businesses to absorb the prices.
We are doing our bit to help our customers. And I also send out this, challenge to other retailers. They have some that have announced they're increasing their prices on July 1st. Don't do that. Help our fellow people of Barbados by not raising our prices initially and help them to get accustomed to the transition phase. We know that everyone can't do it indefinitely, but to help and to do your bit to help our fellow Barbadians.
Culture Minister Stephen Lashley says there should be no secrecy around budget measures. He believes it would be more effective if the public knows beforehand what the budgetary proposals are. According to him, the age of technology has drastically altered how government functions. He was speaking after the National Summer Camp Media Conference held at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture headquarters this morning.
People have access to instant information. We're talking about social media and the significant impact that social media has had in terms of how information is disseminated. And I think we have to pay attention to that. I am of the view, and as somebody who certainly uses social media, that we have to be now engaging in a much more proactive way with the public of Barbados. And I think that if we do that, then we benefit from the insights in a more proactive way in relation to the making of public policy.
Meanwhile, Minister of Finance Chris Sinclair will meet with a number of organizations over the next 2 days to discuss concerns relating to the recently announced budgetary proposals. Mr. Sinclair will meet with members of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and the Barbados Private Sector Association tomorrow, Tuesday, June 20th, and later in the day he will hear from the Barbados International Business Association. Now, on Wednesday, the minister will have discussions with the Barbados Manufacturers Association and in the afternoon with the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association. Officials of the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, the Central Bank and the Barbados Revenue Authority will attend the meetings, which will be held at government headquarters. Minister of International Business Donville Innes says taxes on regional airline tickets are too high. He says it has been hindering trade among some Caribbean countries.
But we fully understand what happens in Miami and New York and Toronto and London, because the airfare to get there is about the same as you pay to travel next door to one of the Caribbean islands. And I hold steadfast to the view that until we make it easier for people to travel the region, we're going to continue to be battling an uphill task of increased trade of goods and services in the region.
Well, Mr. Innes was speaking at the Jampro Caribbean Market Mission opening ceremony held at the Hilton Hotel this morning. He says government has no issue with Jamaican manufacturers selling their products in the country. The minister revealed that imports from Jamaica into Barbados have increased some $20 million in 2012 to $26 million in 2016, while Barbados's exports to Jamaica have also increased from 30 million Barbados dollars in 2012 to $43 million in 2016. And in the meantime, Minister Innes says some Caribbean countries are not willing to invest in LIAT.
I cannot help but raise concern over the challenges faced by regional carrier LIAT. Obviously, there are internal issues, but I continue to be amazed and amused at the unwillingness of some Caribbean islands who benefit from LIAT, but refuse to invest in the airline and yet still want the most flights, the key positions in the airline, including technical and administrative staff. Now, Barbados has undoubtedly shown true regional cooperative spirit in this venture, but I really hope that others can step up to the plate.
As recovery work continues at the Greenfell high-rise in London, it has been confirmed that no Barbadian nationals were among the victims identified so far. Barbados High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Reverend Guy Hewitt, says they will continue to monitor the situation and offer support to the affected community. The area of Grenfell Towers was home to a large Barbadian and Caribbean population.
Once we have any report of any Barbadians, we would be in contact with the ministry and also try to provide any possible support to the families and reach out to their friends or relatives in Barbados to let them know. But so far, we have not gotten any reports that any Barbadians have been injured or lost their life in this unfortunate and tragic incident.
Police in London now believe close to 80 people died or are missing and presumed dead following the fire. 5 of the victims have been formally identified. Now, authorities say they may never be able to identify all those killed in that blaze. We'll take a short break here and come back with more news.
Don't let your data experience slow you down. Step up to Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network, more than twice as fast as the slow network. Get more with Digicel. Digicel, the fastest 4G network in Barbados. Dial *153# to sign up to Digicel today.
We start with a yes. But when life takes unexpected turns, you can still say yes to more. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card gives you points with every purchase that you can use to travel to anywhere. Plus, with just 20,000 Scotia points, you can say yes to destinations. With Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card, it's easier to say yes to everything. Apply today.
Are you positive? You are negative. HIV free.
Are you positive? You are negative. Get tested and see.
Are you positive? You are negative. Are you okay?
Are you positive? You are negative. Get tested today.
Live Up, the Caribbean Media Alliance, in association with Scotiabank, PANCAP, and local ministries and departments of health, are for the 10th anniversary of Regional Testing Day, providing free HIV testing and counselling. Visit us online at iliveup.info for a schedule and full list of testing sites. Shouldn't you know your status? Live up for those you love, protect, and respect. Come on, get tested.
Are you positive? You are negative. Live up today.
The owner of the dogs that mauled an elderly woman to death earlier in the year has been granted bail. Peter Christopher Rock of Munro Road, Haggett Hall, appeared in court to answer to a charge of manslaughter, along with 3 counts of keeping dogs without a license and 3 counts of keeping dogs unleashed in a public place. 74-year-old Verona Lolita Gibson of the same area was reportedly walking near her home early in the morning of January 28th when she was attacked by the dogs. She was bitten multiple times about her body and succumbed to her injuries at the scene. Well, he pleaded not guilty to these 6 offenses under the Dog Licensing and Control Act. An internal investigation has been launched following the circulation of a video on social media showing what appears to be a policeman kicking at someone. The incident appears to have unfolded outside of a popular party spot in the city. Police Public Relations Officer Acting Inspector Roland Cobbler, in a statement, noted that investigations will be conducted to determine first if the individual in the posting is indeed a member of the Royal Barbados Police Force. Police are encouraging anyone who can provide information to assist with this investigation to come forward and provide the necessary information to the Office of Professional Responsibility or the Police Complaints Authority. Meanwhile, police are investigating the circumstances surrounding a break-in at the St. John's Primary School. According to principal of the school, Omita Hines, an undisclosed sum of money was stolen from inside the school sometime over the weekend. Police were present at the school for part of the morning. However, classes resumed as normal. We hear that men across the island are taking greater steps to maintain their sexual and reproductive health. Word of this comes from Acting Executive Director of the Barbados Family Planning Association, Anderson Langdon. He was speaking to the media on Father's Day for the association's 63rd anniversary service. He says over the years, the Family Planning Association, which handles men's health issues such as vasectomies, circumcision and fertility counseling, has been concerned about a lack of men coming forward for healthcare services. But in recent times, Mr. Langdon is happy that more men are coming forward, not only to look after their sexual and reproductive health, but their well-being in general.
There's really been an effort by men from how we see it, to come in and find out about their general health. And this is something that we want to continue. We want the progress to continue. It means that even though we speak about the bad health-seeking practices of men, that certainly the effort is being made by them to improve on that. And we've noticed this not just in numbers, we've noticed this in terms of the revenue that was contributed to this year in terms of men's services. Yes, they weren't necessarily just to the men's clinic, but they came for their regular tests. And we came for the STI test, they came for the HIV test, they came for these tests that sugar, their iron. So we've noticed that increase.
Structural improvements to the Richard Haynes Boardwalk are working even better than expected. That's the word from Chief Executive Officer of the coastal engineering firm Baird and Associates, Kevin McIntosh. Mr. McIntosh says there are plans to extend the boardwalk even further.
We're very pleased with how the Richard Haynes Boardwalk has performed. And once again, it's partly the standards of the coastal unit that identify what should be done in the process of design. That structure has been in place for almost 10 years in some cases, I guess the whole thing, and had required minimal maintenance, and as you know from being there, performs very well and exceeded expectations in a lot of ways. The new project, the most recent cramp project, has allowed us to design the extension all the way to the gap, so it'll be twice as long as it is now.
He was speaking during the second in a series of lectures to mark Environment Month. Mr. McIntosh also provided a reason for the unusually high buildup of sand in the careenage a few months ago.
That was studied, and a new groin has been put in place by the port, and the sand's been dredged from the mouth of the careenage and put back on other beaches. So yes, it's the growth of Carlisle Bay Beach over the last 30, 40 years or longer, and it just keeps getting wider and wider, and then it spills into the careenage at this point. So yeah, it's very straightforward coastal analysis.
Dawn Drayton is a Guillain-Barré syndrome survivor, and our Kimita Jones spoke to her in what's become her living room, literally and figuratively.
When it comes to illness, sufferers are often silent about their struggles and bottle up their emotions. These inner battles often go undocumented. But there is one young woman who has chronicled her fight with a debilitating illness. She is 38-year-old Dawn Drayton, a survivor of a rare illness called Guillain-Barré syndrome. She has a diary with her thoughts and feelings that's open to the world. It can be found online at www.dawndrayton-gbs.com. There, you can find her story and how it all started. Here is a preview.
The 5th to the 11th of February 2016. Not so simple after all. By the evening of the 10th, my initial symptoms had worsened. I was experiencing numbness and a cold sensation in both hands and feet. My back pain was so excruciating I could not sit or stand or walk unassisted. And I had vomited so often that my throat and stomach muscles were sore. I did not sleep at all that night. The pain was unimaginable, and I was in tears. Now, for someone who considered themselves to have a very high tolerance for pain, that was major.
Dawn says writing is therapeutic and is a form of documentation of her life with Guillain-Barré syndrome, especially since GBS has caused her to have short-term memory loss. This is why she started writing.
When I got diagnosed, there was no one in my family, no one in my circle that knew what GBS was. And for 2016, there were only 3 cases in Barbados. So it's very uncommon.
Telling her story on the internet also allows her to connect with others who are affected with this illness. Caregiver Sharon Drayton says her sister's recovery is often accompanied with lots of tears because of dealing with setbacks.
Just trying to cope every day. It's been hard. I'm trying to be there, trying to support her when she's being down and moody, making jokes, just trying to keep her going. When we first started therapy, I was pushing her more than she wanted to be pushed. Seeing the improvement, now I don't go as much as I used to. I will go as she asks me to come, but she can handle it now better on her own. So Just in reassessing, she's come far. She has a lot further to go, but she's come far, and just appreciating it.
GBS is a rare disorder which causes the immune system to attack the nervous system. As the symptoms took over, Dawn was thrown into a coma and became paralyzed at age 36. To regain mobility, she had to do several exercises, especially for her hands. Her life changed from being consumed with numbers as an accountant to doing dot-to-dot exercises. She struggled to hold markers and color inside the lines of pictures in coloring books.
At that point in time, I could only use these two fingers. These ones were still like kind of bent like this and not moving at all. So I literally was fighting to hold the pencil while writing.
Now, there's a marked difference in her handwriting. It's improved by 80%. Dawn is still affected by the constant ups and downs associated with GBS.
And today, I guess because my body is not feeling 100%, I actually feel really stiff. I dropped the toothbrush this morning. When that happens, I tend to drop stuff a lot. Cups and whatever, so I have to be careful. I can only use plastic, obviously.
This mother of one is unable to walk and needs to have surgery.
Once the bed is there, I have my support, but because of my hips, this is how I am.
Though her movement is limited, she still challenges herself.
I'm good. I will try to get myself
really scary.
away from the bed and practice elevating because I need to strengthen my ankles. And I also practice balancing because you can't walk without balance.
Dawn admits that at times when she's not grappling with pain, she struggles with weakness in her muscles. For her, recovery is slow and frustrating. So it's not a surprise that those with Guillain-Barré syndrome have changed the acronym to Get Better Slowly. Very often, clinical information is provided for rare illnesses, but the best way to really know what it is like is to hear it directly from a sufferer. Reading Dawn's journey on www.dawndrayton-gbs.com is well worth it because only she can describe it best. Kemisha Jones, CBC News.
After the break, we'll take a look at stories making headlines across the region.
Diamond Dazzler, it's time to play. Diamond Dazzler, the new instant $250,000 scratch game from the Barbados Lottery. Available at select lottery outlets.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, my darling.
Thanks, Mr. Banks, man. Thanks, man.
Cheers, mate.
One more. Right.
Thanks, man.
Each and every day, we're thankful for something. And we're thankful for you. We couldn't do it without you.
People,
girls, we store just got even better. Come on in. Come down to the new renovated People's Market in Tudor Bridge with bigger aisles and even more in store. All your general grocery needs. A whole new fruits and vegetables section. Beer, wine and liquor. A wide selection of meat and fish. And everything for your outdoor chilling and barbecue grilling. But most of all, everything at low prices. Right, Miss Edwards?
That's right, Ma. And now we have the People's Mall too.
People, come on down to the People's Market in Tudor Bridge.
Cuba's Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez says his country will never negotiate with the United States under duress. He says Havana will not accede to demands by U.S. President Donald Trump for the return of American fugitives that sought asylum in Cuba. Mr. Rodriguez says his country considers them political fugitives. A UN expert says children in the Dominican Republic are being preyed upon by foreigners who visit the country to have sex with them. The UN's Special Rapporteur on the sale and sexual exploitation of children described the Dominican Republic as a child sex tourism hotspot. Adult prostitution is legal in the Dominican Republic, but it is illegal to force, deceive, or coerce any adult or child into sexual exploitation. The crime carries a prison sentence of up to 30 years. Now, recently, the government has stepped up efforts to prosecute tourists and Dominicans for child sex exploitation, but convictions remain low. Over to Antigua and Barbuda now. A violent confrontation between two teenaged boys, ages 13 and 15, has resulted in one of them being hospitalized in a coma. The 15-year-old has been taken into police custody. It's understood the victim, his 8-year-old sibling, and the accused were involved in an argument over the use of a basketball court on Saturday. The argument quickly turned physical and ended with the student receiving a blow to the head with an unknown object. We'll take a peek into the world of sports in just a moment, but before we get to that, here's a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.